Hello folks, and welcome to my channel. My name is Marco Landry, and for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm in the process of modifying my 2018 Yamaha R3 into a track-only bike. And I was hoping to do a bit more work today on the bike, but I'm still waiting for some components that are in transit due to COVID. So in order to keep my schedule of publishing a few videos on a regular basis, I figure I'd simplify the process today and do a much shorter video on how to replace the gas cap on your R3. So what I plan on doing is replacing my R3 gas cap with a driven gas cap, and this is the unit that I have right here. So this is what it looks like. You can see here I have the base and I have the cap, and the cap you can get different colors. Obviously I took red because I have some red accents on my bike. So this is what I'm going to be using. The reason why I'm using this is because I have this on my R6, on both R6. I got different units from Driven. This is exactly what I'm going to get for the R3, but the middle part here will be red instead of black. So this is what I'll be installing. And I also have the same thing on my Ducati 848 as well. So you can see your same type of unit. For the tools required, you will need two different items. The first one is a 4mm Allen wrench. The second one is an X-Acto knife or some really sharp scissors. The material needed, that's really easy. You need some blue tread locker, and in my case, as mentioned, I'm replacing the gas cap with the driven gas cap. I currently on my R3 have a Spears Enterprise gas cap, but I'm going to replace it with the driven gas cap. If you have the OEM gas cap, the process will be exactly the same. And one of the reasons why you replace this gas cap, or one of the reasons why you replace the OEM gas cap with an aftermarket gas cap is to have a keyless option. So you will no longer need the key to have access to the gas tank. So that's a big bonus, especially when you are at the track. But obviously the look is just simply phenomenal as well. They look really, really nice. Okay, so now let's talk about why I'm replacing the Spears Enterprise cap with the driven cap. So this is from Spears Enterprise, and I was hoping that was going to be good enough for the bike, but for some reason whenever I try to unscrew this, it's super tight. You can see I have to apply a lot of pressure, and when it's finally at the right location, I can't even pop it out. So I've tried different things. I took it apart a few times and it's just not working for me. So even though I'm a big fan of Spears product, this one is not going to pass the test, and I'll have to replace it with the driven unit. So having said that, I'm gonna unbox it and I'll get this installed on the R3 in a few minutes. So stay tuned and I'll be back. All right, I don't have much of a camera angle here because I'm by myself and my tripod's a bit too short, but I'll try to explain this while I'm going through the process. So basically, to remove the cap, it's 3 Allen bolts, and the size, if I'm not mistaken, is 4mm to remove the Spears cap, and it's fairly easy to remove here. All right, so this is the cap remove. I got the rubber grommet that was around it, very well packaged, definitely no chance of damages during shipping with this package. It's good quality packaging. So you got 3 internal X bolts here. I'm assuming it's going to be the same size as what was there previously, which is correct. So it's a 4mm internal X key. And with this one, you can see here there's a nice seal in the back, and I guess this is some sort of valve to make sure that if it overflows, it's gonna let the gas out. So yeah, I mean, that's it. And the other cap, the small cap, will just fit into this. So you can see here that little instruction pamphlet that comes with the unit. And they're even giving you some torque specs of 6 feet per pound, and to use blue Loctite as well when you install this. So I'll put a bit of blue Loctite on those bolts as well, which I didn't do before. And for the cap itself, and remember that when you're ordering this, you need to order the 2 units separately. It doesn't come as a kit. It comes with the base and the cap. You have to order these 2 items individually. This is the cap that will fit into that base. When you are using this, I've had a few issues with the other gas caps. Make sure that this rubber seal stays in place. This is obviously what creates the seal between the plate and the cap. So when you want to lock it, obviously here you can see that it's in the unlock position. When you want to lock it, you simply press and turn, and that's it. Now it's nice and flush, and when you are hugging your tank, there's no risk of having this come out. So that's why I really like these caps. They work well, they work all the time. And if, God forbid, something was going to happen to that cap, you can order a new one and still maintain your base unit. So just one quick note on the OEM seal. So that rubber trim here is part of the OEM assembly. So you can see there's different grooves here where it will fit in properly with the mounting area. But you can see here where that stud is, there's a little bit of a groove that allows you to push this in. It's going to fit in nice and snug. And same thing at the top here. You can see this little groove allows you to make sure that everything fits properly, and same thing with the third one. So your 3 studs are lining up properly. The only problem that you'll have is that you'll have to do a bit of trimming, because you can see that this area here, this little loop is overlapping on top of that area to let the vapor come out, or the fuel come out. So you'll need to trim this excess here on the side. So basically you just need to take a little knife and cut this, or some scissors or side cutters, whatever is going to work for you. And you definitely need to trim this before you put this back on the bike. So in my case, in order to do this properly, I'm just going to take some scissors and see if I can do this with the scissors without reverting to anything else. I'm just going to cut right here, right? So basically I'm cutting this area, and I guess the scissors won't do it, so we'll just need something a bit better. So we're going to take a little knife, and we will be cutting this area right here. So now I know where it is. I'm just going to put this here. Basically just gently cut this piece of rubber out, and do the same thing on the other side here. And obviously I'm not too concerned about cutting this, because I don't plan on reusing the OEM fuel cap. And you know, now that I'm not using the Spears Enterprise unit as well, I think you know, I'm not gonna have any issues fitting this. All right. Yes, in this case, I'm definitely gonna cut this this piece as well. So, super easy to cut. Just need to take your time, make sure that it's nice and flush, and that you don't go too deep to impact the quality of that seal there. So that's it. Now we'll have a nice fit. So we're all set to go. I've cleaned everything up here. Now when I always do the assembly, I make sure that everything is nice and clean, and you can see that the rubber seal is nice, nicely seated on the cap itself, or the base of the cap, I should say. Now, basically, it's just going to be a matter of pushing this, inside here. It's going to be a bit tight, and once this is done, I'll be able to start securing this in place with the 3 provided bolts that came with the unit. So I've mounted the base of the cap, and now basically when you're doing this, make sure that you don't tighten just one bolt. You just do like a crisscross pattern. Make sure that you go evenly with all the bolts. So again, take your time. It's not very complex. I've made sure that everything was properly seated, and when it was, I removed each individual bolt and added some blue Loctite. And then the final touch is to put the cap, and make sure that we put it on the right side. Oops. And basically, you know, you put it in and you just press and turn, and this is it, guys. This is the final product. As you can tell, it looks really nice, really sharp. And the red will match the accent on the bike. So guys, thanks for watching. That was it for the video for today. As I mentioned, a lot shorter than usual. Stay tuned, and I'll see you at some point soon. Cheers.